Hell yeah, we can challenge for a league title.
Charlotte Soccer Show, Danny Bram's in the house. What's up, Tifos? What's up, fans? What's up, everybody? Cheers to you. We're drinking out of a Charlotte cup. Having a good old time on one of the Saturdays in Charlotte FC history. I may look really happy with my, Sir Minty shirt and my suntan, sunburnt, you might call it, face. Chest hair for the fans, and my brand new spanking hat. I mean, lightning freaking strikes, right? But it's not a good day for Charlotte FC because this is the day where Patrick Agyemang completed his medical at Derby County. By the time you're watching this, he could have already be officially announced as sold. It's all but done. Patrick Agyemang, kid who should have been the face of the franchise in a different world, is no longer going to be a Charlotte FC player. Not fun, not fair. But we're going to decode the presser. Dean Smith apparently spoke extensively about this sale today at his press conference today. I have not heard it. I was not able to attend. I've not listened to anything. So we're just going to go live. We're going to watch Dean, hear him talk, and then I'll pause it and I'll give my little commentary. It'll be fun. And Abram Kuchecki. Oh, shit. Am I catching the live? You are catching the live, Abram. You are live all the way. Welcome. It's about time. It's about time you caught one of the lives, right? So, decoding the presser. Let's do it. Let's bring in Mr. Dean Smith here. As I said, he spoke for about 20 minutes, I think. So we're going to take a listen, and I'll pop in where it seems relevant, I suppose.
What's your availability this week?
Availability, Tim Ream is obviously back from international duty. We've got who else we got back? Oh, Wilf is back from suspension.
Oh, Wilf's back.
So we've got him back. We're not sure about Patrick at the moment because obviously there's been talk about another club coming for him. I think the two clubs are discussing the valuations and then he'll be getting a medical if that's been agreed. But I think we're quite in control of that because if it's not agreed, then he'll be involved for Saturday.
In terms of, you said last week he had not approached you about a move. Have you talked to him about it? And if so, what were those discussions like? Yeah,
I had a chat with him yesterday when he was back, wanting to see where his feelings was. And it's hard to talk. It's a private conversation obviously I had with him, but he intimated that he would be interested in a move. So again, we're in control of it because we're not looking to sell better players unless the fee's right for our club. So, I believe that's ongoing at the moment.
Does it matter, I guess, where he goes in your mind in terms of as a player, or do you feel like he could succeed anywhere?
Does it matter? Yeah, it matters because I want to see the players that we've got, who we help develop, go on to bigger and better things.
Sure.
So if Patrick's, wishes are to go, to Europe, then I'd like to see him in one of the top leagues in Europe. I think that is a step up for him.
In terms of...
Is the championship one of the top leagues in
Europe?
Europe?
That leaves with your team, obviously you have Idan, you have Tiger, but how much does that put pressure if he in fact does depart on finding that, and what conversations have you had with Sporting on finding that next player?
Well, he puts pressure on us, but it's something that we've obviously been aware of. There's been interest in him. The fact that
we've been aware,
able to agree a new contract with Patrick and his representatives has always indicated that this was likely to happen, whether it was in this window or at the end of the season. So we've had balls in motion and plates spinning in terms of what other players we can look to bring in if that was to happen. So I do feel that this has probably been pushed by his representatives more than the actual player.
Are you surprised it's now as opposed to the end of the season?
So I'm a little bit skeptical, I guess you could say, that this was pushed by his representatives, not the actual player. I'm sure Patrick did want to stay here. I'm sure his representatives wanted to make a commission. But it's been reported that Patrick Agyemang is getting like a 10x raise here from 140,000 a year to over $1 million a year. And so I have a hard time truly believing that that would not be pushed for by the player. If I'm the player, I don't care what my representatives are doing. I'm pushing for that 10x raise. I think almost anyone in their right mind would. I don't think Patrick's a guy who's completely motivated by money. I like to think that I'm not someone who's completely motivated by money, but money does get to a point where you can't say no at a certain point, especially when there's no real moral qualms here. It's just where you're going to go with your career, right? It's a professional decision. So when I hear some of this stuff Dean's saying here, I mean, I get it. Deano is very good at coach speak, at manager speak. And the one thing I've learned, as much as I love Deano, I mean, we all know how much Danny Brams loves Deano, right? I mean, there it is right there. It's, look at the joy in my eyes there as I got the chance to shake his hand last year at the meet and greet. But what I've learned from listening to Deano a lot is that Deano knows everything. That's what I'm going to say. I'm not going to call him a liar, but what I am going to say is Deano is way smarter than he lets on in public. And when he says, I don't know, it's being worked out between the clubs, I think he's having a medical today. Yeah, if they can agree on the fee, it's like, that's bullshit. I'm just going to call it out. It's bullshit. And it's bullshit that Deano has to kind of shovel to us. I'm not mad at him for it, but it's total bullshit. He knows exactly every single thing that's going on with this transaction. And it would be negligence not to, obviously. I know he's not the sporting director. He's the manager, and he should be more focused on the product on the field. But Deano, you know everything that's going on with Patrick going to Derby. I would tell you this to your face if we were sharing a pint. I would love to be at the bar in Brummie with you, me, and Callum Williams having a good old time. But don't tell us you don't know, Deano. Figure out a different way. Lie to us a little bit better next time, please.
I am surprised. I'm surprised. I'll be surprised if he goes to the championship in the UK, as has been reported. But that's just my own personal view.
Why?
I think a team. I think the championship is not too much different from the other. This is a major league over here. You're going to a second league in the UK. There's not going to be loads of time for development because they play Saturday, Tuesday. There's 46 games a season. I think for him to remain one of the big players for the US national team as well, probably to stay here would be better.
In terms of your guys,
so there, I'm going to say, Deano, I completely agree. You've won me over yet again, Deano. I'm back. We're back on the same page. I agree. Going to the championship at this point, I don't really see how that helps Patrick become a better player. I don't see how it helps him make the squad in World Cup 2026 for the USA easier, unless he completely dominates and is one of the very best players in that league. Then that would change things for sure. If he goes over there and scores 12 goals and starts, 60% of the games and has a minor injury halfway through the season or whatever, and, misses some time, just speculating here. But like the path to Patrick Agyemang, English championship superstar, is a much more difficult, skinnier, more narrow path than the path to Patrick Agyemang, Golden Boot winner in MLS next year or something like that, or scores, Golden Boot winner from here until the end of the MLS season, we could say. I know he's got some making up to do. Nashville fans have let us know how many goals Sam Surridge has, no doubt about that. But I don't think Patrick was going to win the Golden Boot here this year in MLS, but he just has a chance to shine more. And I love this from Dean. I love the fact that Dean is, only a year and a half into his American adventure, is speaking up in favor of MLS, comparing it favorably to a second division in the UK. I think that's great. He mentions this is a major league, and all that stuff is great. Deano, you're the man. We love you.
I was kind of just crunching some numbers earlier. Based on the way you guys defend, you defend with the 4 in front of Kalina and also kind of the 2 in front of him, that back 6. Are you asking more out of that group this year, given the goal scoring you guys have had, but obviously the goal conceding numbers that have also followed.
Good question.
Yeah, I mean, I think with the quality of players that we've brought in, we're naturally going to create more goals and score more goals from different areas, and I think we've done that this season. What we haven't done, what we've probably done more of, we've conceded more goals from lesser chances. Certainly not high-scoring chances. We've made a lot of individual mistakes.
You can say that again.
I think that's been the big thing. We've always been a team that want to. What we haven't done, what we've probably done more of, we've conceded more goals from lesser chances. Certainly not high-scoring chances. We've made a lot of individual mistakes.
That's the power of producing. You can make them say it again, right?
So I think that's been the big thing. We've always been a team that I want to defend from the front. So it's not just a 6 that's defending; it's actually a 10 who's defending, and that's always going to have to be our basis and our principles. Opposition, once they beat that front four, then it's about shifting across the pitch and making sure we keep them on the outside of us. But we can't. It's been difficult to legislate for the amount of mistakes, individual mistakes we've made this season.
Steve,
It's been tough to watch.
and just immediately following up.
If it's
on
been
that,
tough to watch on the
talking
sidelines,
about
it's equally tough to
yesterday,
watch from the
It
stands.
was kind of
Trust me.
about that, and like a couple of times where Nick got caught with 2 guys over there, and he had to choose one, and it kind of fell to the other, leaving the open space on the back post there. Is it because the other team is chasing, attacking with numbers, or players not getting back?
No, that's making poor decisions.
Does that include lack of communication?
It can do, but it's poor decision making. If
Whose fault is that?
I don't mind defending with a back 4 against 5 opposition, because the furthest person away from the ball is not a danger. It's going to take one hell of a ball to reach him, and by that time you can usually shift across. But jumping and leaving spaces in behind us is poor decision making.
So I'm taking that's something you addressed with
Ain't that
watching
the
the
truth?
films with the players.
Yeah, no, watching the game back,
Yeah.
we're actually in good positions. The fact that we jump out of them positions opens it up for the opposition.
See, that's some
Okay.
good insight right
And
there.
just back to
Trying too hard. We're
Patrick,
just trying too hard.
And the agreement.
We just love playing defense too much.
The failure to come to an extended deal here is that because of terms? Like, is it money, length of something?
It's always money. It's always money. And
Well, we have the richest owner in the
I
league, Dean.
thought that the club made fair offers, and there was a number of offers in January. And I spoke to Patrick about where I thought he should be and what he should do, but his representatives had a totally different idea, which was out of the ballpark for this football club.
Okay, thank you.
I mean, I pray that someone asks him if Patrick
With
should.
all the talk about Patrick and
That's a bit
everything,
of my American out of the ballpark, because I knew you'd understand that. Hey,
Oh, Deano.
Hey, I'm turning.
English.
He's becoming American,
the
folks.
situation with Patrick that you've talked about at length, what is the conversation with you and the rest of the club, the rest of the squad? I actually mentioned it yesterday, yes, it can be a distraction, but you gotta go on and you gotta play. So talked about players moving. What is your conversation with the players playing?
There's never a conversation about players moving at all.
I do not believe that.
the king is dead,
For
long
one
live the
fucking
king.
second.
That's what usually happens at any football club. There's pretty much revolving doors at most clubs, because players come in, players go out. That's the way it works. We've helped develop.
Again, I'll say it. It's negligence if you're not having the conversations about players leaving. So don't feed us bullshit.
Patrick, and as I say, Patrick could still be involved on Saturday at the moment. Nothing's been done
Sure,
yet.
he could. Sure, he could. You never know.
But we'll take pride in the development we've played in Patrick's part. But the show goes on for us. So, if Patrick's training with us, then we just treat him as normal Patrick. If Patrick ends up departing, then we shake his hand and say, "Well done."
Looking ahead to Saturday,
Get your handshake
we
ready.
talked about it after the game, how you guys were kind of hanging on with the 2-0 lead over Orlando, and it just kind of snowballed, got away. Moving on from that one, and what do you see in New York, and how do you take the lessons from Saturday into this week?
Well, I thought our performance was better last week. The last half an hour, we looked like a few of our players were flagging. When we had to withstand pressure, but still,
True.
when I look back at we made bad decisions for their goals, because I still look back on that game last week and against a team who I've always been impressed with, Orlando. Our goalkeeper wasn't overworked. He wasn't saving shot after shot. They had a couple of shots in the second half from outside the penalty box that went wide. They had a header going backwards from about 12 yards, which was always comfortable. So there wasn't loads of dangerous moments. So all in all, our positioning was good. We just made a couple of poor decisions that cost us goals when we were under pressure. And the first one was the big one, I think, because if you don't concede that, you probably go on and win the game. So we've learned from the mistakes. New York from last season have changed. They've got some new players, got a new coach. So it's a different New York. It's something that we've obviously been aware of. There's been, and I
just want to say, as I lose my place here in the press conference, sadly, with a misclick, hopefully I'll be able to get it back to a certain pot. But while I'm finding that, let me just say that he said he's asked the question, did your players get tired in the last 30 minutes? And then he says, no, they weren't tired. They just made mistakes. Well, you know who makes mistakes? Tired people. So there is a little bit of a hand in glove situation there. And the substitution patterns that we've seen from the sideline, again, Deano Smith, you're a Premier League manager. You know way more about this game than any of us, but have not been impressed with what we've seen from our limited amateur point of view as super fans of this club when it comes to subs and the timeliness of them and things like that.
12 yards, which was always comfortable. So there wasn't.
See if I can find my place
behind us, and the atmosphere that they created. And I thought we played, especially the first half, with a lot more. If somebody makes an offer, then we won't.
All right. Let's just go from here.
There will always be rumours and gossip in football about possible moves and possible not moves. Again, we're in a really good position as a club that we're in control of it. If we don't want to sell any of our players, if somebody makes an offer, then we won't. There'll be players that will think they will want to go and play at a higher level. But as I've always said, with players and clubs, there's three things that have to align. The club who's buying has to align with the club that's selling in terms of the price, and then they've got to agree with the player as well. So there's a number of things that have to happen for moves to happen, and we're not in the business of selling our best players on a whim. We're here to compete and win things.
You mentioned maybe the window.
Damn right, we're not in the business of selling our players on a whim.
Yeah, no, that's still ongoing. With Patrick going as well, obviously a centre forward comes into our mind as well, which we thought it would do. So that's something we're looking at.
Okay. Speaking of left back, Nathan Burns, what kind of progression is he making?
He's making a really good progression. I'm hoping that he'll start joining in with us training next week, and he should be ready for the Leagues Cup campaign then.
Well, there's something exciting. I wasn't expecting Nathan Byrne back till after Leagues Cup, so hopefully he does come back for Leagues Cup because Lord knows we need him.
You mentioned the shots from distance and not testing the goalkeeper. I feel like we've seen Pep, maybe it was the game before, but definitely the game most recently, he was taking some shots from outside the 18. I know the goal was scored there, but is that something you guys train more? You want to see him take more of those opportunities when he's open, or how are you handling that? I'm
not a big fan of distant shots. I'm happy with the opposition taking them. I'm not too keen on us. I just think they're... listen, if there's nothing else on, not a problem. Okay. But there's normally a better option on than shooting normally on your bad foot from 30 yards or 25 yards through bodies.
Are you cool with recycling it instead of...
Yeah, no, definitely cool with recycling it. I do feel that we get in some really good areas and we should be crossing it into more dangerous areas.
Yes.
And we should be setting up people for first time shots as well, a lot better than we are. That was something that we've been working on this week.
Okay.
Cross it in.
And then you were talking about defensively, like the 5v4 situation. Do you feel like Zaha
Crosses lead to goals.
defensively
Come on,
was
guys.
maybe missed in that last match?
No, I thought the two wide players were okay last week. Pep played in the right area and Kerwin played on the left. And defensively was okay. We didn't have too many problems. We had the one after about, I think it was 12 minutes, their left back got a header at the far post. And again, three defenders, two centre-halves and the right back got dragged too far inside. That's a quick fix and one that we can do on the video and on the pitch.
Quick fix.
So it's again the decision making. Just make sure we don't teams want you to jump and then they can play. You go and use the space. Every team in the final third, we're trying to create space in the final third, and the opposition will try and do that to us. So, it's really important that, unless you know you can go and affect the ball, you don't jump.
Right. And then
No jumping, gal. Quit jumping.
In that midfield. I know we've seen Williamson
No
in
House of
that
Pain.
area. Like,
No
I'm
kiss
curious
cross.
how you're kind of going back and forth between those.
No
two
Van
players.
Halen.
Yeah, I think DD came on against Chicago the week before and did really well in the second half. So I thought he'd earned the right to go and start the game. We was always moving Bram Bronico into the 10 position because we wanted to go and press a little bit higher against Orlando, and I thought that worked really well. And I thought just having that balance of a right foot, left foot helped as well with DD.
Yeah, I thought he had a great game too.
He's all on
Thank
our
you.
right.
No problem at all. Thank you.
Dean, should Patrick leave in this window, what are the most important attributes to you for somebody coming in?
Listen, that's a question probably for Patrick. If Patrick, well, I've had the conversation with Patrick, and my answer was I don't think he should. I want him to stay here, but it's up to the player to make that decision. And as long as the player is making the decision and not his representative, because I did remind Patrick that, remember, agents work for you, not the other way around.
And in terms of possibly...
Dean must. What did Patrick's agent do to Dean Smith? I need to know. That's the real tea, the real dirt that we need to get at. What did Patrick Agyemang's agent do to completely just piss Dean Smith off so much? Because he just does not. He doesn't stop when it comes up. He's just it's the representative. It's the representative. Dino, your partner in crime there, Zoran Krneta, is a former sports agent before he became a sporting director. Maybe temper down the anti-agent talk a little bit. I'm not sure.
That type of talent and production at this point in the season, what are the...
Well, our window's closed still at the moment, isn't it? It doesn't open in a few weeks. I think we've got another 4 games until it opens. So, if it gets agreed and he goes before then our hands are tied a little bit for 4 games.
So Clamati time. But Tiger Small's got to
You touched
show.
a little bit on NYCFC. What have you noticed from them? There's a couple of differences.
Yeah, I mean, Martinez definitely is a centre forward, runs in behind a lot more. They've got really good technical players. Fullback's really attacking. So it's something we've got to look out for. They've got very technical players, little combinations, little give and goes. And they've got some good rotations as well, and we've got to make sure that our focus, our reference is the ball and not players.
And then, Real Abada, what was maybe your decision behind not starting him?
I didn't think he was great at Chicago.
None of us did.
We've got players now who are competing.
Dino, you know why you didn't think Leo was great at Chicago? Because he wasn't great at Chicago. That's exactly why.
All the time, and he's been competing with Kerwin. I decided last week to go with Pep on the side as well, and he scored a really good goal from there. So it was a tough decision, but one that he accepted and knows that he's got to work harder.
He has got to work harder. We would be in such another spot if we get more from Abada right now, even with the mistakes and jumping.
I just think if you remember last season, I don't think when he first came in, first 3 or 4 games, he probably hit it off as a 10, and we put him on the side, and he actually he ends up in the pocket and he receives the ball as the ball comes, and I thought he caused a lot of problems last year doing that. Last week was one of them games where I thought he could go and do that because one of Bram Bronico's strengths when he plays there is to go and put the opposition under pressure, and we ended up doing that well as a team. For this week, then Pep may be back in as a 10.
Thank you.
No worries. Thank you.
We'll go to Sam Spencer, then back to Willie.
Anything could happen, Dean says. Stay tuned.
Having a good week.
Not bad at all, thank you, Sam. And you?
Can't complain. So wanted to ask you, 2 out of the 3 times he's showed up on the field for Charlotte FC this year, Bill has put it in the back of the net. Has he done anything in your estimation to earn more minutes?
Could be a song there, couldn't it? 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Great question.
Yes.
Yeah,
2 out of 3 ain't bad could be the song,
listen,
Dean, but guess what? There's a different one. The song is, he's big, he's Bill, he's big, fucking Bill, big Bill, big Bill. That's the song. Come on. He's big, he's Bill, he's big, fucking Bill, big Bill, big Bill. But if you want to cite me,
he done well. He came in. He was always going to flag as the game went on. And Bill's been unfortunate. The partnerships between Addy and Privs last year was outstanding, and then Tim's come in as well as a left-sided left footer. So his playing time has been limited, but he's never let us down when he's come in. And I was pleased with his contribution. I mean, his switch of play for the first goal as well was excellent last week.
Of course it was.
You know,
and
opponent is-
you know what? And he wasn't, didn't have anything to do with his footedness. It just had to do with the fact that he's a quality player.
This week just got a lot of headlines for sending a 700, 800 pound inflatable pigeon down the Hudson River. Don't know why the CFC did that, but if a football club in England sends an inflatable down the Thames, say past Craven Cottage, what would the reaction be?
I think we'd be more into our racing pigeons than inflatable pigeons, I must admit. And we could send a few messages with them as well.
Little messenger pigeon action.
Finally, for me,
Stuff. When sometimes Dean gets these questions,
you
these long,
mentioned,
elaborate questions that he's not too versed on the background, and he doesn't even know how to answer them. But
that you thought Abada was not great against Chicago. Where do you see his place in the team right now as one of only 2 DPs on the team, but has not gotten the consistent start from you?
Yeah, no, I think he started the season well. He's probably just come off it a little bit, and he's pretty. I think it's difficult at times when it's a player who's going away for international duty as well, and they miss time with us. But we know what his standards are. He knows what his standards are, and he's working hard to get back to them.
going to play international has nothing to do with whether the is not.
Thanks, Sam.
We'll go to Willie and wrap up with Mike.
Given your current fullback situation, are you more keen on deputizing Tim there, or are you still worried about Andrew? Kind of what's the?
Yeah, Andrew's trained all week, so I've got less of a worry.
Strong.
If Andrew is struggling, then we'll just go and get an inflatable Andrew. And float him on the pitch.
At least he can bring it full circle, even if he didn't understand the whole
contest that they kind of wore your right side out. Does that even maybe make you more keen on Tim at the left, Shaquille on the right? Does that seem?
Yeah, it's something we can look at. Nick's come in and done well. I thought Nick done really well first half, defended really well. Obviously tired as the game went on and cramped.
Yeah.
So it's something that we can look at. Jack can play right back. Nick can play right back. Jack can play left back. Tim can play left back. So it's something that we'll definitely look at. And I think the drop off concerned me last week a little bit. And when you've got two out the back four who are cramping towards the end, it puts you on the back foot a little bit.
Yeah, and no doubt.
Going back to and I apologize for
just put Bill Toolum back in,
but
please.
Patrick does leave.
Anywhere. Mm-hmm. He can play.
Player
right
that
back.
you would try to bring in when the time allows. Are you looking for a player that has got his size, his finish? I mean, obviously you want all those things, but does it really depend on what?
No, it's hard to go and get a like for like. Just the way Patrick plays. He's a little bit different in this league, I think, from other strikers. But there are definitely strikers out there who are available, and there'll be a mixture. There'll be some that will run in behind and score goals. There's some that are penalty box finishers. There's some that will be physically powerful. So there's a little bit of a mixture. And I think our balance has also got to be right. Are we bringing somebody in to go and compete with Edan? Are we bringing somebody in to back Edan up? And that's a decision that we've got to make.
We're going to sell Agyemang to buy a backup for Toklamati? Come on.
Is there a thought about fit with the group as well?
There is. Folks, I'm here to tell you. I'm going full screen for this. They have sold Patrick Agyemang, and they have no plan to replace him. That's evident. The plan starts now. They're selling Patrick. They're signing on the dotted line and sending him off to Derby. And they're saying, okay, well, time to start looking around for some replacements. Absolute joke to say that, it could be anybody.
The personality of the player?
Yeah.
If you get to that.
No, personality always. Character. Whenever we're looking at players and, I've got a list sat on my laptop and, I'll go and speak to coaches, players who I know and trust who've, played with them or coached them or worked with them and get information on them, because they've got to be coachable. They've got to want to come and improve, and want to win things as well.
And that's that. We want to sign a player who wants to win things. That shouldn't be too hard to find, I'm sure. Just about every player out there wants to win things. But yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. Joe, thanks to all the commenters for I wasn't really referencing the comments, but I was trying to put them up on the screen as we went if they were relevant. The plan is Jamie Vardy. That's what I've been saying. That's what I've been saying when I have conversations with friends. I'm like, we're going to do a fake search for someone who's better than Patrick, and then we're not going to get anyone. And then on the last day of the window, we're going to sign Jamie Vardy. Absolute joke. Not that I hate Vardy, but I don't see it happen. And as far as him, coming to MLS after sitting on the sidelines for the last 6-7 months and playing on turf and somehow being as good as he was. How many cigarettes do you think Jamie Vardy has smoked since he retired from the Premier League? Probably quite a few. So Vardy can't be the plan. Obviously, one of the all-time greats on his day, but that's my overall overriding takeaway from this. And you can prove me wrong. And Dean and Zoran, I hope you do, because there's nothing I would love more than to be wrong about this. But the verdict is Patrick Agyemang gone, and the plan starts now to replace him. So we'll see what we end up with. This is the Charlotte Soccer Show. Thank you for watching. This is Decoding the Presser. It's what we do. And this is the first time we've done it this year. So it's been a while. I did it a bunch last year and got pretty decent reviews. So maybe I should have been doing it more, but I had to bust it out for this special sad day in Charlotte FC history, the end of the era for Patrick Agyemang. Not official. Dean's still holding out hope. Hey, maybe he'll play Saturday, but all reports indicate that he has had his medical procedures done and all of that, and he's ready to go for Derby County. They're starting their preseason soon. I think like in a week and a half or something like that. I need to look that up. But Charlotte FC versus New York City FC, the Pigeons, the giant inflatable pigeon that went viral. And I did say, Dean, a lot of times when Dean says, I don't know what that is, he actually does know. I think he honestly didn't know anything about the pigeon. I don't think Dean is as online as the rest of us. So I knew what the pigeon question was. But the good news is there were no questions to Dean about the club's marketing as far as how to get attendance to the games, because really not up to us to determine how the club markets things. But I do like this comment as we go from Justin K. I will just say this, not about Agyemang, but Nick was tired as the match went on, but I didn't sub him. I just left him out there too long. Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel like Neely should have been out there sooner for sure. But injuries and tiredness and inexperience and whatnot on the back line have been a problem. Hopefully it will all work out. Dean did, as they talked about some of the tactics that NYC does. He mentioned they like to play high, go forward with the fullbacks. Hope we can get our guys in behind. That's where Charlotte does best. Remember, San Diego tried to press us, and we absolutely obliterated them. Would love to see that happen against NYCFC. So I will be there doing the Mint Street hop from Tiber Creek to Hop Fly to the stadium. Anybody who wants to catch me and have me buy them a beer, come find me. I'm not hard to find. I'm never hard to find, whether you love me or hate me. Johnny Hayes is hard to find because he's on vacation. He's not even, he's at an undisclosed location right now, but he is still a big part of this team. And I can't wait to reunite with him for another show soon. Probably an audio only cast. So listen to those podcast feeds. But thanks for subscribing to the YouTube channel. Like the video, share it, subscribe it, watch it 3 times, watch it on your burner, send it to your grandma. And we will keep rocking and rolling. As always, it's for the crown, baby.